Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Now, I haven't studied thermodynamics, so I really have a very limited knowledge of it. I'm kind of like a child looking through a keyhole into a room. I've got a couple of degrees of view, but I certainly can't see the whole picture, so I'm sure everything I see is distorted by my limited vision. But, that having been said, that doesn't keep my mind from wandering and thoughts hooking to other thoughts and going through and eventually coming to some kind of a conclusion. Okay, according to thermodynamics, in an isolated system, entropy only increases, it never decreases. The only time it decreases is if you run time backwards, and that's impossible. Okay, because in an isolated system, entropy only increases, and entropy being the measurement of randomness to the layman, then that renders perpetual motion immediately impossible. Already knew that. But it gets better. If, in layman's terms, everything gets more random in an isolated environment or model, then you have to define the isolated model, and I believe the universe is considered by a lot of people to be an isolated model. Okay, so if the universe is an isolated model, and things only become more random because entropy only increases, then how could something as complex as life, DNA, which is billions of pieces assembled exactly the way it's supposed to be, how could that have taken place, considering things only become more random and not more structured? Unless an intelligent life form was pushed into this isolated environment and planted life, I don't see how it could have. Heck, you could go for, pretty safe to say, you could go for 14 trillion years in an isolated environment with no human intervention, and when you get done, you probably wouldn't see any can openers or automobiles or anything as simple as, you know, even Formica countertop, nothing. Think about that. Okay, second question. Let's look at the Big Bang Theory. Now, according to the Big Bang Theory, from what I understand, from my keyhole perspective, we started from maybe one particle, maybe even less than a particle, and from that there was an explosion, and it expanded to where we are now. Okay, so if that happened, I read that in just the first few moments of the Big Bang, the universe was several light years across. So that means that it got several light years across in just a few seconds, or whatever you want to call a moment. But I've read that nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, and if it got several light years across, then it would have to take, at the speed of light, several years for the stuff to get out there. See, I just don't see it. I've also read that it may be possible that the Big Bang took place and things went out as far as they could go, slowed down, and then gravity pulled them all back in, right back to the same particle. Then they exploded and went back out again, over and over and over again, millions of times, kind of like the paddle with the ball that keeps coming back. And that during each time that happens, there's a very brief window where life can form and thrive and then die out. And we're in that minute little paper-thin section of time, and that this has been going on forever. Very interesting. Kind of makes the original Big Bang look kind of small compared to the big picture, but that's just the way life is. The human mind is a beautiful thing. Okay, mystery number 3. If the universe did start from a Big Bang, and it is expanding, like all Big Bangs, it's traveling the fastest during the initial explosion, and as it spreads out more and more, things slow down, and eventually stop, and then fall back in on themselves. But I'm told, from measurements that scientists have taken, that actually all the planets are actually speeding up, not slowing down. Yeah, they're actually going a little faster all the time. And after looking at it, they've come to the conclusion that that has to do with dark matter, which there obviously is more of than there is light matter, and that's what's pushing the planets apart. Don't understand it, but it's an interesting theory. And if that is true and things are speeding up, then the theory of it slowing down and coming back obviously is wrong. Then again, when you look at Einstein's theory of how time works, if it's actually on a curve, that throws a whole new dimension into things. And then again, if there really is 11 different dimensions, well, once again, that throws another dimension into it too. Actually, 11 of them. Okay, question number 4, and I was going to save this for later, but hey, I'm going for broke. If when you die you go to heaven, good. But if you read the Bible, it says you don't go to heaven until after you've been judged, and it says you're not going to be judged till after Armageddon, and Armageddon hasn't happened yet, I don't think. So in the time frame, according to that, if I figure it right, nobody could be in heaven. Then again, since there is no consciousness in death, if I died right now, and I was dead for, well, a nice round number, 1 trillion years, and you woke me up to judge me and asked me how long I'd been dead, I wouldn't know whether I'd been dead 5 minutes or 5 trillion years. So there is no sense of time. So that, and the fact that time doesn't travel in a straight line but is on a continuous curve, it actually could have already happened and we just haven't got to that part of the curve yet. So maybe everybody is in heaven. I can think of a couple people that probably aren't, but I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design. Get on hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and more important than anything, be nice, leave no trace, always tell the truth, and have a really great day. Bye-bye.